So what was the point for you that led you to your first go at getting sober?
So we were it was a Black and Blue tour. It was 2001, and we were in, where was it? Boston. And we had a day off the day after the Boston show. And we were supposed to throw the first pitch out. It was the beginning of the season, Major League Baseball game, Red Sox. We were going to throw the first pitch. So the night of the show, the day before, our manager said, "Hey, do you guys want to do this?" And then all we're like, "Oh yeah, let's go do it." That night, I got annihilated and woke up the next morning, got my wake-up call from our tour manager, and I said, "You know what? I'm not going to go today. I'm good. I'm tired, hungover. I don't really feel like going." And he's like, "Well, you guys all agreed to go. I'll let you deal with your bandmates, but I'll let them know." So then Kevin, who's the oldest of us five, he calls, bitches me out. I'm like, "Dude, I'm not going to go. You guys can go throw the pitch out. What's the big deal? Like, if I'm not there?" He's like, "Because we all agreed to do it." I said, "Well, I'm agreeing not to do it." So my room was set up where there was the main room door and then the bedroom door, which was double bolted. So he broke in the main room door, tried to break into the bedroom, but it was double bolted. He couldn't get in. We exchanged some words. Last thing he said to me was, "I'll never trust you again, and you're dead to me." So I basically said, "All right, you." I quit. So I called our manager, who was on the road with us. I said, "I want out. Sue me. I don't care. I'm out. I don't deserve this. I'm going to leave." The boys had paid for a therapist to be on the road with me, which I literally only saw in catering every day. I never used her. I never talked to her. So she came to my hotel room with our manager and my security. She said, "Look, you have two options. You can go home, see your mom. She's going to probably enable without realizing it and try to be caregiving and, help you out. Or you can go to rehab." And we call it door to door, where you don't go home. You just go from wherever you are and go straight to treatment. So I was like, "Oh, fine." So I flew to Sierra Tucson in Tucson, Arizona. My sobriety date then was July 9th, 2001. And stayed there for 31 days and proceeded to stay sober for 7 years. First 3 years, I went to a meeting every day, and then that got less and less. But I had lost the desire to pick up and use. But now looking back, I was a dry drunk.
Sure.
I was white knuckling it, basically, not knowing any little thing that really pissed me off or set me off could have easily gotten me to relapse, but nothing ever set me off. And then we were on the road. We were in Belgium, and it was a day off the next day. So after the show, everybody was getting lit. Nick and our previous security, who's now since passed away, God rest his Q, they got into a tiff. And I was like, "I don't need to be here. This is stressing me out. I'm going back to my room. I just want to hang out with you guys, and you guys are being little bitches." So I'm going back to my room, and I'm going to pop on a movie and whatever. So I pop on a movie. I open up my mini bar, and I'm doing the remote, and I'm doing this. And I grab a bottle, and I pull it out, thinking it's Coke. And it was a Heineken. And I was like, "You know what? I deserve it. I'm stressed out." I had maybe 3 or 4 sips, and then, sorry to say, didn't want to pay for it, so I peed the rest back in the bottle, squeezed the top back on, put it back in the minibar. Didn't get charged, by the way.
There would have been a lot of fans of yours that'd be stoked for that had they had known.
Maybe, I don't know.
AJ's pissed.
There are some randos over
Yeah,
the
I'm
years,
sure.
But so I didn't pick up a drink for about 4 more months. And then was out at a party, had a full beer and a shot. 2 or 3 months again, nothing. So I'm like, "No,
Cured.
maybe I'm cured.
Yeah.
I can do this now." And then probably right around Christmas time that same year, I don't know what happened. Something just clicked, and I went to go pick up a 6-pack, and I grabbed a bottle of rum and polished everything off And I was like, I want some blow. So I went through my phone, I found people, and off to the races. And literally from that moment, so that would have been 2009. From 2009 until 20 months ago, I've been on again, off again. And I had been to treatment 2 more times after Sierra Tucson. I went to Promises in Malibu twice. And the last time I stayed for 7 weeks. I did extended living where I could come and go as I pleased, but I would breathalyze when I came back, mandatory 5 meetings a week. But what amazing thing came from that is my first day going into extended care, my wife picked me up. We went back to the house so I can get my car. She's gonna hate me for saying this, but we had sex because we hadn't seen each other in 6 weeks, or at that time 4 weeks. And when my oldest is old enough, I'm gonna show her the photo. But before I left, my wife said, is there anything you want me to get from the store for you to, when you get home in 2 weeks? So I said, yeah, this. She goes, do you have any cash on you? I said, yeah. So I gave her $500 bills. And I said, you look so freaking beautiful right now. So she put a blanket over her, showed her shoulder, and she held the money up like I just paid her for. Little did we know, in that moment was when we conceived my oldest daughter, Ava, now.
Oh, nice.
So, and literally about a month out of treatment, we my wife and I went to get our nails done, and she broke the news to me. And she's like, you're not freaking out? I'm like, no, I mean, I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
And I stayed sober through the birth of my child, and, but then back on again, off again, and it was just like.
Is it the stress of getting out there on the road and being away from the family? And
yeah, I think that used to be my number one issue is how can I get away with it, like away from home? And I would set myself up before, like 5 minutes after I walk out my front door in the car service to the airport, I'm already mapping out my first drink. And, I've traveled now twice on my own since I've been sober now. And that thought did not cross my mind.
Awesome.
And I'm like, wow, okay, this is new, because I vaguely remember it when I was sober for 7 years. But like I said, I was white knuckling it. I just didn't care. And we can all say, well, had I done the steps then, had I done what was asked, I'd have 20-something years sober today. But I don't. So what I do have is what I have now.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters, is today. I don't know if I'm going to be sober tomorrow. I have no idea. None of us do.
Yeah.
I have today. That's it. Just got to get through today.